religion is the source of homophobia. Without the misuse of Scripture, we would not have homophobia.
Jesus doesn't say one word about homosexuality. Not one. The Bible doesn't say one word about homosexuality as we understand it today.
To be an openly active gay person and say I'm also a Christian is a very large dichotomy.
Reaffirm our commitment to work for that day when justice rolls down like rivers and righteousness like a mighty stream, and all the people from north and south, east and west, both young and old, from the diversity of God's rainbow say, let it be so, let it be so, let it be so, let it be so. Thank you.
God did not create us to be gay at all. So somebody had to, at some point in a person's life, lead them in that direction. I think that our world is spiraling to a bunch of new lows. Lynchburg is a very religious Christian community. Not everybody believes the same when it comes to homosexual lifestyle.
Yeah, I spent 35 years, in the closet, meaning I didn't think homosexuality was right. It was a sickness and a sin, so I didn't see it as an option. So I went through electric shock and aversive therapies and exorcisms and all these things to get it over with. When I finally accepted it, I'd stripped my wrists and gone to the hospital, and when I came back, my wife said, you're gay. I like gay people, but I just didn't want you to be one, but you're gay, so let's separate and have a real life. What was interesting about that is that as soon as I did come out, I started reading the materials from the people for whom I'd worked. Robertson, Falwell, these guys, and they were lying about gay people. So I said, how are we going to take them on? Coming to Lynchburg we got a little apartment right across the street from Jerry Falwell's church, so every time they came out the doors, they would see us sitting on the porch. We would go in first, we'd worship with him. Every time he preached against homosexuality, we'd stand up and protest, and then he'd stop, we'd sit down again, then we'd come run over and say, welcome, have cookies, and so forth.
So why do you think that this is one of the things that have stuck with us for so long, and it's such a huge issue now?
Well, if you look at Karl Rove's record, he's one of the right-wing folk who use homosexuality as a way to raise money and mobilize volunteers.
There you go.
It sells. The fear of gay people sells still in America. And I think in 10 years, the goal is that people say, what was that? Let's see, why were we against that then? It'll be over then, I hope.
I'd like to think that we've reached a tipping point and that churches from here on out are going to have an easier and easier time recognizing that gender equality and sexual justice are as important to our identity as church as racial equality and racial justice. That the Christian community is gay and straight and bi and trans. The gay community is Christian and agnostic and atheistic and Buddhist and Hindu. One thing that's really clear in the prophets, in the Torah, in the writings, throughout what we call the Old Testament, one thing that's really consistent throughout the New Testament, in the Gospels and writings of Paul and in the other epistle writers, even through to Revelation, is that God is love. And human relationships that are lived in love are better than human relationships that are lived in estrangement from one another.
Okay. His teachings say forgive, love, accept, and receive. Jesus taught. He didn't teach us to just accept a certain kind of person. He taught us to accept everybody.
We haven't had anything but loving acceptance in this, very conservative area. This is South here. And we thought it would suffer a little. And it's terrible. We haven't suffered at all.
If people love one another, then they're living in God, because God is love.